Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to start our meeting with the approval of minutes from May 20th.
I make a motion to accept them as written.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
I second.
Colleen seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And the motion carries, so the minutes are approved. Thank you. We also have public audience next on our agenda. I see we have some visitors. We invite all who would like to share to sit in the first chair. So just state your name and your address and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm not going to speak, but I would like to pass out to everyone a copy of my observations that I made earlier this spring. Thank you.
Your name.
This will save some time, and they can be thrown away if you don't want to.
Very helpful for my
Say your
minutes.
name.
Yes, Thomas S. Turner, 11 Barnard Drive, Simsbury, since 1974.
Yeah, I can pass them on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you for sharing that.
Hi, I'm Lori Boyko from 15 Oakhurst Road. And I know you have the library material display policy on your agenda tonight. And I wanted to take a few minutes to say how utterly bewildered I am that the content of books provided by the people of this town through the library to children would even be a controversial topic. No library purchases or contains every book ever published. Decisions are made every day about what items to be added to the collection and also what items will be culled from the inventory based on relevance, usage, timeliness, interest, and even appropriateness. I haven't checked, but I'd be surprised if the library carried Penthouse magazine or X-rated pornographic videos or instructions for bomb making. My guess is that reasonable adults take the position that while those items may be something some adults choose to have in their homes, the library doesn't find them appropriate to include in their collection. So why should it be controversial to determine sexually explicit erotica with graphic detail inappropriate to provide to minors, and especially inappropriate to put on display? This isn't about race or ethnicity or sexual preference or gender. It is specifically about obscene content being promoted to children. Choosing to purchase and display age-appropriate content that is not overtly salacious is not the same as book banning. It is making adult, professional, responsible decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Just getting the door. Okay, thank you for all those public comments. We can move on to communications. In our last set of minutes, our last meeting, we shared an article about Mary Richardson, who had won the Outstanding Adult Services Award, and she got a new feature article in, where's this, Valley something? Valley Press, is it Valley Press? It's a really nice article, and it has the teens outside doing their gardens, and just talks about how welcoming she's made the teen space. And I can speak from personal experience that my son uses that teen space just about every day during the summer and quite frequently in the school year. Anybody like to just pass that around? I know. Other communications? I don't have any others. Okay. Does anyone else have any other communications? All right, we'll go straight to Greg for the Friends report.
Friends don't meet in July and August. The only thing I have to tell you is that we are continuing to collect books for the big book sale, which, as I mentioned before, is September 14th and 15th at the high school. And we'll collect books up until Saturday before Labor Day.
Excellent.
Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Okay, bring those books in. And the next on the agenda is the chair's report. I just wanted to recognize our hometown heroes that have both served on, well, Polly Rice, my vice chair, was recognized as a hometown hero. She's absent today, but we appreciate all her service that she does throughout the town, not just on the library board. And Mark Orenstein, who served on the library board for many, many years and helped get our technology really smoothly running here, and so many other things that predates me. So I know his legacy goes back really far. So we recognize them. And I just wanted to also thank the library for their presence at the Juneteenth celebration. The library consortium between Avon and Granby and other surrounding towns really made that event informational and fun. And the library was also present at the Pride flag raising at Town Hall, also making a statement that we want to be welcoming in our community. And I spoke with the Tabletop Games, who organizes a teen activity where they play with figurines, and they're coming back in the fall to do an Aztec Maya reenactment of that game, and I'm just really excited to celebrate Hispanic heritage in that way. So that's my report. I think we can move on to the director's report.
Sure, I'm very happy to report that the Children's Department and the Borrowing and Check Services Department are now fully staffed, both of those departments. That was a long time coming. Unfortunately, it's summertime and one of the HVAC systems needs repair, and that will cost about $4,000. Two of the lower level door sets need repair, and we're waiting on cost estimates for those. This morning, we completed the first round interviews for the head of adult services position. So we are hoping to conduct the final interviews next week for that position. We have hired our Book Bike summer intern, and she has been touring around Simsbury. She goes to Central School and Squadron Line to coordinate with the Parks and Rec programs and the school programs there, so she has a candid audience. She also goes to the Senior Center on a weekly basis and to Rotary Park on a weekly basis. Last time she was at the Senior Center, she engaged with about 20 people, so that was a very successful time at the Senior Center for her. Her name is Hannah, and we're very happy to have her. What other highlights do I have for you? Those are the highlights of my report.
And there was an increase in the summer reading program. I thought that was fantastic.
Yes, the summer reading program is very successful this year. We've already outdone ourselves from last year by about 300 people overall. So Stephanie continues to increase participation every year over year. So
Yeah, that's impressive. What stood out to me in your report was just all the partnerships that keep expanding. I was reading through each section. I was like, oh, that's a partnership with the DEI Commission, partnership with the yoga every Friday, and all the events. The other libraries, Bloomfield Public Library, Granby Public Library, that we all share and build those relationships is great.
and those partnerships and the volunteer program presenters that we use, we leverage those so that we save the town and the library money. The Adult Services Department saved the library about $2,400 this past month by using volunteer presenters and our partnerships to present programs.
Yeah, it's a big save. That was just 1 month, you said.
That was just
24
1 month, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on the director's report? Comments? let's move on to Coffee Buddies funding.
Can we do the finance?
Oh, sorry, I missed finance report.
That's okay.
You're right.
So you have the June report that I sent you on Friday. We are still continuing to process year-end fiscal year 24 invoices, so that is not the final report for year-end fiscal year 24. I will continue to track that. For those of you that have been on the board for a while, we don't finish up the fiscal year probably till late August, because things continue to trickle in, and the town doesn't wrap up the fiscal year probably until August, so we'll continue to track that as we start to track fiscal year 25.
For the HVAC systems, do we have funding in this budget, or do we have to wait for next budget to address that?
The HVAC
Repair.
repairs will come out of fiscal year 25,
Okay,
as will the repairs for the doors.
great, okay. Okay, questions? All right, moving on now to Coffee Buddies funding. I think it was at our May, was it May?
We talked about Coffee Buddies at the May meeting, and that was a team building project that I piloted in 2023, where members of the staff were volunteered to participate in Coffee Buddies, where each of them were given a $5 gift card that I purchased myself with my own money to go to the coffee spot, and they were paired up with another staff member not in their department that they don't usually work with, so that they could get to know each other and form relationships with people not in their department. So in 2024, I was requesting funding from the library board discretionary fund to fund Coffee Buddies rather than funding it out of my own personal funds.
Do we need to
We need to
reapprove that?
re-vote on
All
that,
right,
yes.
we need to re-vote on that. So what we're asking for, is there a motion to approve, I think we said like $100 to fund this?
I made the
Program.
motion last month, and I would like to make a motion. Actually, $125 would probably be a better amount, since we have no employees, and there might be more people that would be able to access the buddy, approach. So I'd like to make a motion just to fund $125 from the library discretionary, the board's library discretion budget for the library buddy project.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ann. Any discussion? All right, and all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. That passes unanimously, so the Coffee Buddies program is funded. And number 11 on our agenda is the material display policy.
So the material display policy basically talks about how materials are selected, the criteria we use to create display, how the criteria the staff uses to create displays, how displays are approved within the library, and then the procedure and the process that the visitors to the library can use should they not agree with a display.
Was this something we covered in the last?
Yes.
Yep, so we discussed that in June.
May.
In May, sorry, in May.
Yeah.
Right.
We just need to re-vote on it.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the material display policy?
I make a motion to approve the material display policy.
Thank you,
And I
Kelly.
second.
And Mary Ann seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion passes unanimously, thank you. All right. Then we can go to Juneteenth 2025.
Sure, this is just informational for you. The CSEA collective bargaining units negotiated to have Juneteenth as one of their holidays. And there are 3 CSEA units that work in the building. In fact, all of our staff are CSEA
Okay.
staff, except for myself and the pages. So that will mean that the library will be closed on Juneteenth in 2025, but that will also mean that there will be other parts of the town and town buildings that will be open because they're not staffed by CSEA staff.
So it will be a hybrid sort of approach for Juneteenth in 2025,
Okay.
where some town buildings will be open, but the library will be closed.
Okay. All right, thank you for that
Yeah.
information. And we discussed a proposed Eagle Scout project. Do you want to update us on that?
Sure, I sent you out information about a new proposed Eagle Scout project, which would be a wind phone. It's something that originated in Japan after a tsunami. Someone had a wonderful idea and they created a phone booth with a handheld rotary phone from vintage days where survivors of the tsunami or family members of people who perished in the tsunami could come and talk to their relatives who perished in the tsunami. It was really touching to me. So the possible project would be creating some sort of area on the library grounds, and that remains to be seen. We're still working with Public Works on where that might be appropriate to put a wind phone.
Okay.
In reading what the link that you sent, it does seem like it's a nice tool for people who are grieving. And if that works for them, it was a lovely article about it.
I thought so too.
Yeah, and I think if it does get installed, I think it's a great resource to share with various churches and synagogues and places of faith that have grieving people and, well, maybe that works for me, So it looks like a nice project.
We thought it would be intergenerational. That was one of the thoughts. And we have places within the grounds that are very natural and peaceful. One of the places that we are thinking of is just at the entrance to the pathway to Boy Scout Hall where there are benches. So people could sit on the benches while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's great. Okay. All right, so you'll just let us know when the location is narrowed down.
Yes, and then we'll bring it back to you for final approval before we move forward.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, that's great. That concludes our agenda for today. I don't believe we need executive session.
I'd like to share something in executive session.
Oh, you would like to share?
I would,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, okay, then is there a call to adjourn the meeting so we can move into executive session? That's what we do, right? We adjourn first.
We make a motion to adjourn into executive session and then we come back out.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second? Okay, that concludes our regular meeting, and we will move into executive session.